Hey everybody, it's Mr. Carr again. Today we're going to be starting up Unit 2 on parallel and perpendicular lines. So for 2.1a, we just have basically some vocab that we want to cover here. First thing we want to talk about is parallel lines. Parallel lines are two lines that are equal distance from each other and never intersect. So it looks like this. So here's one line, here's a second line. Now we can show that these are parallel by doing an extra set of arrows. Like when I put those on there, that means these lines are definitely parallel to each other. Okay. And when I talk about equal distance, I mean the distance here is the same as here is the same as here. How far apart those are always going to be the same. Okay. So perpendicular lines, these are two lines that intersect at 90 degrees. So it looks like this. Draw that out right there. I put a little box there. So there's 90 degrees. So again, this is how I show that two angles are right angles. Sorry, an angle is a right angle. So the two lines are perpendicular if I see this here. Okay. Lots of times you'll see parallel lines, you'll see a symbol for that. For example, if I call this line A and line B, then here A is parallel to B. It looks like an 11, but it's just two straight lines to make it to mean parallel. So A is parallel to B. If I call this line C and this line D, C is perpendicular to D. Okay, that's what that symbol means there. It's an upside down T. For here, we're going to go over these types of ideas. Our additional vocab today is going to be corresponding angles, consecutive interior angles, alternate interior angles, and alternate exterior angles. So it's easier to look at this diagram to go along with it. I'm going to give you some definitions to understand this too, but it's going to be easier to see this. So first of all, we have this line here that's intersecting two other lines. This line is going to be called the transversal. Oops, sorry, spelled that wrong. The transversal, okay? A transversal is a line that crosses or intersects at least two other lines. When I do this, I get a variety of angle relationships here. The first one is going to be corresponding. Corresponding angles are on the same side of transversal, shifted uh, shifted into a similar position. So what I mean by that is something like angle 2 here. Angle 2 is corresponding to angle 4. I can see how I'm just taking this right here and shifting it down to this position like that. That is corresponding there. Okay. Now there's a bunch of correspondings. So angle 2 and angle 4 are corresponding. So is angle 1 and angle 7. So is 3 and 5. And then lastly, 8 and 6. Okay. Alternate interior angles. So before I get to this, let's also label this diagram with what's called the interior and the two exteriors here. Exterior. Okay. So my interior is in between my two lines that are being intersected by the transversal. My exteriors are up and above and below like this. So when I say alternate interior angles, both angles are in on the interior. Okay, both angles are in the interior, opposite sides of the transversal. So for example, with that one, there's the blue. Oh, not that one. Angle 3 and angle 7. Those are opposite sides there. So angle 3 and angle 7. Additionally, angle 8 and angle 4. Okay, so these are my alternate interior angles here. Okay, so for the next one, alternate exterior angles. It's the same exact idea as the other one, but now both angles are in the exterior and opposite sides of the transversal. Okay, so when I look at this one, let's do this in red, like angle 2 and angle 6. Those are on opposite sides. They're alternate sides of the transversal. So angle 2 and angle 6, as well as angle 1 and angle 5. My last one is consecutive interior angles here. So consecutive interior angles are on the same side of the transversal and both interiors. Both are in the both are in the interior. Okay. I don't like how I wrote interior there. Let's do that better. Okay, same side of the transversal and both in the interior. So let's do this in green here. So angle 3 and angle 4, those are consecutive interior angles. So angle 3 and angle 4, as well as 8 and 7. Okay. So these are just our names. This is what our focus is for this first lesson. Just trying to identify the angle relationships based on where they are in terms of the interior and exterior and where they are in relation to the transversal. So I'll just do these examples real quick. So if I want to identify each of these, just one example of each. Pair of corresponding angles. So I can do something like this. These two angles are corresponding to each other. So that would be angle DBC and angle FCH. That's just one of my 4 total ones I could do here. Again, corresponding means I just kind of shifted along here. They're in the same positions of those intersection points. Okay. Alternate interior. Let's do we'll do this angle and this angle. So that's going to be angle EBC and angle FCB. Excuse me. Okay. So alternate means they're on opposite sides of the transversal right here, and they're both in the interior. Okay. So that's why these two are in the interior there. Alternate exterior. So I'll go with this angle and this angle. All right. So that will be angle DBA and angle GCH. Okay. So again, the alternate part means they're on opposite sides of the transversal. Okay. Both sides of that transversal there. And they're both in the exterior, here and here. Oops. Like that. And then finally, our do green consecutive interior angles. Okay, so I'll do this angle and this angle here for an example. So that's angle EBC and angle GCB. Consecutive interior means they're on the same side of the transversal. So they're both on this kind of lower part of the transversal, and they're both in the interior here. So that's where they're at. So that's it for our definitions for today. A lot of vocab here, but we'll continue our work with these types of angle relationships and see some special cases when we deal with these lines being parallel. So that'll be for the next lesson on that one. All right, but that's it for today. Take care, everyone.